Rise of Nationalism in Europe, second part. In the previous video, we have learned about the French Revolution, the idea of the nation, how various steps taken by the revolutionaries and reforms done by Napoleon became helpful to create the commonness among the people of Europe. In this video, we will learn more about the making of nationalism in Europe. Let us see what was the condition of the European continent. There was no nation state or the modern state till mid 18th century. Europeans did not see themselves as sharing a collective identity or common culture. We know today Germany, Italy, Switzerland, but they were not existed in 18th century. They were divided into kingdoms, duchies, and cantons. They were ruled by autocratic monarchies. Diverse people were living there. They even spoke different languages and belonged to the different ethnic groups. Austria, Hungary were ruled by the Habsburg Empire. It included the Alpine region, the Tyrol, Austria, and Sudetenland, as well as Bohemia, where the aristocracy was German speaking. Lombardy and Venetia were Italian speaking provinces. In Hungary, half of the population spoke Magyar, while other half spoke the variety of dialects. In Galicia, the aristocracy spoke Polish. Such differences did not easily promote a sense of political unity. The only tie binding these diverse groups together was a common allegiance to the emperor. Let us see how did nationalism and idea of the nation state emerge. For this, we will discuss about the European society, the aristocracy, and the middle class. Let us see what was aristocracy. The upper class people, as monarch, his relatives, and landlords in the society. They were landed and socially and politically dominant class. They were united by the common way of life that cut across the regional division. They were living in the different regions, as in Germany, France, Italy. Their families were connected by the ties of marriage. They spoke French for the purpose of diplomacy in high society. They were in a small group but very powerful. The majority population of the society was made up of the peasantry. They were tenants and serfs, farmed the land of aristocrats. In western part of the Central Europe, commercial classes emerged whose existence was based on production for the market. Industrialization began in England in second half of the 18th century, but in France and part of the German states during 19th century. In its wake, new social group came into being, a working class population and middle classes made up of industrialists, businessmen, professionals. The educated liberal middle classes had the idea of national unity and abolition of aristocratic privileges gained popularity. Now we will learn about what did liberal nationalism stand for. The term liberalism, taken from the Latin root liber, meaning free. The ideology of liberalism for new middle classes were freedom of individual and equality for all before law. We can divide the principles of liberalism into political sphere and economic sphere. In political sphere, liberalism stood for the concept of government by consent of the people, a constitution for the government. Third, a representative government control through parliament. Next, the end of autocracy and clerical privileges. The word clerical means related to clergy, the priest of churches. Equality before law did not stand for universal suffrage, right to vote. To get elected and right to vote was granted to property owning man. The man without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Only for the brief period under Jacobin, all adult males enjoyed suffrage. The Napoleonic Code went back to limited suffrage. The status of women was minor and subject to the authority of father and husbands. In economic sphere, liberalism stood for liberals stressed the inviolability of the private property means the protection of private property. The freedom of market and state imposed restrictions on the movement of goods and capital. Next, the Napoleon administrative change created countless small principalities and confederation of 39 states. Each of these had own currency, weight and measures. New commercial classes argued for the creation of united economic territory, allowing movements of goods, people and capital unhindered. Next, in 1834, a custom union or Zollverein was formed at the initiative of Prussia and joined by most of the German states. The union abolished tariff barrier and reduces 28 currencies out of 30. Only 2 currencies left. The creation of network of the railways helped in mobility of the people and goods. The wave of economic nationalism extended the wider nationalist sentiment. In the next video, we will learn about a new conservatism after 1815. Thanks.